But when it comes to hammering the present order and the warlike European mindset that seems to exist right now, few politicians, perhaps even more than Lavrov, stand out like this woman I'm about to introduce you to. She is Ireland's Claire Daly. You got to see this. Here she is talking full force about Ukraine and what they've called her for complaining. Listen.
I have to be honest now and confess at this stage that I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm actually a Russian propagandist, believe it or not, according to a Ukrainian hit list or whatever. And the two reasons why I'm a Russian propagandist is I said two things. One, that the war in Ukraine was a NATO proxy war. And the second, that the people of Europe were suffering more than the Russian economy from the sanctions that Europe had imposed on Russia. Now, I happen to stand over both of those things still, but rather than engage with me on the content of those issues, on the fact that Stoltenberg came in here and told us that NATO provoked the war, on the pauperising reality for European citizens crushed under the cost of living issue, rather than discussing those issues with me and taking responsibility as the European leaders who brought them in, it's much easier to smear me as a Russian agent or a Russian propagandist. And that is what the European Union's disinformation policy is designed to do.
So what happens then? What happens to European citizens who complain, right? Who complain about Ukraine and the fact that their money is being spent there, or complain about all the refugees who are coming in, or complain about what's happening in Gaza, for example. I'm about to play something for you where Claire, tells a story about a citizen of Germany who did just that. He complained about the European Union's policies in Gaza, and look what they did to him. Listen to her.
Well, this guy explained it, and he said, I haven't been charged with anything. I haven't stood trial. I haven't been found guilty of any crime. I'd no chance to defend myself. But the EU sanctioned me for my pro-Palestinian journalism and stripped me of my rights. I'm not allowed to buy food. I'm not allowed to buy medicine for my children. I'm not allowed to pay for my lawyer. I'm not allowed to leave the country I live in. I'm not allowed to enter the country I live in. I'm not allowed to get a job. I'm not allowed to make payments. I'm not allowed to receive payments. I'm not allowed to pay my rent. Every single time for every single case, I have to submit a file and ask permission. And then I have to wait several days for approval. And in case any of you are feeling a bit sorry for him and think that you might send him a few bob just to help him out, well, I'd be very careful about that, because you too could then be sanctioned for the crime of circumventing a sanction from the European Union, and you could find yourself on a sanction list as well.
Can you imagine what that story she just told? That's what they did to a citizen who complained about what the government was doing, his government. And that's how they treated him. It's unbelievable. Talk about censorship. And then they talk about other countries and pound their chest about it. By the way, censorship is not only an issue in the EU.